Oh, great. So as many of you know, or if you haven't been able to catch up on the news, if you've been at work, we have had, or rather the Biden administration unveiled its Build Back Better infrastructure proposal. Now, here are some of my initial thoughts on the proposal. I think that the scope of what the Biden administration has laid out is very encouraging and it's admirable. The vision that they put down, and going so far as to talk about land use, to talk about billions of dollars in rail, in EVs, in making sure that we're putting EV charging stations across the country, to make sure that we are making investments in Amtrak, in public transit, in roads, bridges, care, etc., is really important. However, I think the vision is good. I think we can make it broader, but even if you have the vision that the Biden administration has put forward, my concern is that they have allocated $2.25 trillion over about 8 years to act out on this vision. And it's just not enough. If we actually want, in good faith, to make this vision and the commitments that they've put down happen, we need a more robust investment. I have real serious concerns that 2.25 trillion over 8 years is not going to get us there. And for context, because people may say, oh my gosh, that sounds like a big number. What is that? And we see these big numbers thrown around and we don't know, what to toss around. One allocation that we saw was about $40 billion for public housing nationwide, right? That's part of in the plan. For context, NYCHA, the New York City Housing Authority, already needs about $40 billion just to get up to code and just to get to the point where we're making up for the underinvestment during Republican Congresses and administrations. And so we need a lot more than 40 billion if we're going to go and make these investments across the country. And that's just getting NYCHA up to code. That's not including new build. That's not including actually leapfrogging these buildings and retrofitting them to green standards. That's to make sure that these horrifying things that we see every winter, where our residents in NYCHA don't have hot water, and where you see that their apartments are just not in a humane condition, that's just to get it up to in relatively acceptable zone. And so to talk about the context of what we need, that's why we need so much more. And so I agree. I am encouraged by the vision laid down by the Biden infrastructure plan, but I'm concerned that the numbers that they've allocated won't get us to that vision that they themselves have agreed to. So I'm going to be hard at work, making sure that we get those mechanisms up, and to make sure that we include things like the Green New Deal for public housing, and also making sure that the climate piece of this is also really integral.